What are jigsaw activities? Jigsaw activities are a specific type of information gap activity. Jigsaw activities work best when used with the whole class. They help learners develop their speaking, listening, reading and viewing, and may also help with writing. So, how do jigsaw activities work? First, the class is divided into groups of learners with 3 to 6 learners per group. Give each group a letter, colour or other name, for example Group A, Group B, and so on. Then each group is given some different information on a particular aspect of a topic which they then become the experts in. This information can be presented in a number of ways, including as a written text for learners to read, for example a few sentences, a paragraph or a whole text on a particular topic. Information can also be presented orally. For example, learners could listen to different parts of a story, audio extract or podcast, or perhaps a relevant video on particular lesson content. And lastly, information can also be presented visually. For example, text could be accompanied by relevant images. For primary learners, this might take the form of a word mat. Let's consider what this looks like in practice. For example, for secondary learners working on the topic of Charles Dickens, you may give Group A information about books that he's written. Group B could get information about important events in his life. And Group C could get information about characters in his books. Each group should then spend some time reading or listening and discussing and helping each other to understand the text or information. This is most effective when the text is accompanied by a task. For ideas to help with creating suitable reading tasks, you may want to visit the Great Ideas page on Darts, which looks at directed activities related to texts. At this stage of the jigsaw activity, as pupils are making sense of the information in their text, word banks and dictionaries, including bilingual ones, may be useful to help learners understand key language. After each group has become experts on their topic, the class is then reorganised into new groups of learners, so that each learner in the new group is from a different expert group. In our example, we'd have one learner who knows about Charles Dickens' books, one who knows about important events in his life, and one who knows about the characters. These learners then share their information with other members of the new group so they can complete a task together. For example, learners might create a documentary-style presentation or a poster of Charles Dickens' life. Or for a primary context, let's imagine that each expert group has learnt about different creatures that live in the sea. The final task could be to create a poster which combines all the animals that they've learnt about. So, why use jigsaw activities? Jigsaw activities provide opportunities for language learning to take place alongside content learning, so that language development can be integrated within the context of curriculum subjects. Jigsaw activities are collaborative in nature and promote teamwork and working with other learners to complete a task. Because there is an information gap, jigsaw activities also provide opportunities for purposeful communication. For example, learners may need to ask each other to repeat something, to clarify something, or for their opinion. Top tips for using jigsaw activities. 1. Consider how to group your learners. You may want to pair learners with other learners who share a first language. Or you may want to pair learners with other learners who can provide a good model of English. 2. Adapt the activities for differing levels of proficiency in English. For example, if pupils are new to English and in their silent period, a recognition task such as asking learners to tick which characters are mentioned in a text may be appropriately challenging. Whereas pupils who are competent or fluent in English could take notes instead. 3. You can also pre-teach and/or check understanding of key language that will come up in the reading or audio texts by giving learners a list of key phrases to translate before the lesson. This is particularly useful for learners at bands A and B. 4. Consider what further support learners may need in order to complete the tasks. For example, substitution tables and speaking frames are valuable tools to support learners with speaking and writing, especially for those who are new to English or at the early acquisition stage. You may want to visit the Great Ideas pages for more information on these. How can jigsaw activities be used for independent learning? Online learning lends itself well to Jigsaw activities as teachers can organise learners into their expert groups and share the text, audio or video material online. Two websites that are particularly useful for video content are TED-Ed and Khan Academy, each of which contain a number of videos on content related to the curriculum. These sites are particularly useful for bands D and E. Teachers could use these videos in a Jigsaw activity by asking different groups to learn about the same topic or lesson content from different sources. For example, the teacher could send one group a video from TED.com and one group a video from Khan Academy, each video centering on the same topic of bioluminescence. Each group could then watch their video and come together afterwards to compare what they learnt. To share this information online, learners can meet in an online video chat. Alternatively, if this is not possible, teachers may want to ask learners to share information in short writing snippets online, for example on a Padlet wall. Or, learners could record themselves giving a summary of what they've learned and upload this recording to their shared online learning platform for other learners to listen to. Although Jigsaw activities do work well online, it may take a little more planning or organisation, so it's helpful to think about how to do this in advance. For example, this may be a useful task to bring together a topic at the end of a term. Thank you for watching. Please click subscribe to be notified of future videos.